Hello valued viewers, I hope you're all doing very well. Today is the 16th of June, a few days ago on the 13th. I'm sure you're all aware Israel performed an historic airstrike on Iran. They're calling it Operation Rising Lion. The initial Israeli airstrikes were carried out by over 200 IAF fighter jets. The jets targeted over 100 sites across Iran, mostly in the west of the country, using 326 varied type guided air-to-ground munitions. According to the IDF, the action was prompted by intelligence indicating that Iran had amassed enough enriched uranium to produce up to 15 nuclear weapons within days. You guys have asked us to do our best simulation of it, so that's what we're going to do today. First, let's just understand the basic geography. We have the Middle East here, we have Israel here, Syria, Jordan, Iraq, the north of Saudi Arabia, the Persian Gulf, and I'm going to kind of go around the border of Iran here. It's a massive country, many hundreds of miles across and over 1,000 kilometers. So we're dealing with a lot of terrain. Now, over 100 targets were struck. I've shown here what we consider the main targets. The primary goal of Rising Lion was to put out of action or push back Iran's nuclear program and cut off the head of their military. So we can see here, shown in red, the primary nuclear sites that were struck, including Iraq here, Fordow here, Natanz here, Esfahan here, and 2 nuclear-based sites in Tehran. The more plentiful purple attacks are military targets. And you can see them scattered all across the West to Tabriz here. We're not going to go through all of them. Amman here. And they are a mixture of air bases, their army bases, their missile sites, their missile factories, ground radar stations. Now, I'm aware that many other targets have been hit in the last 24 hours or so, but you guys just asked for the first 24 hours of Operation Rising Lion. So that's just what we're looking at today. Now, logistically, this is going to be a very difficult mission. We are going to take off various fighter jets from bases up and down Israel. We're going to transit across Jordan and then along the Iraqi-Saudi Arabian border. Once we get to the northeast of Saudi Arabia, most of the aircraft are going to have to refuel. The F-16s and the F-15s, which will have exterior mounted air-to-ground stores, are going to need to refuel. So Israel will be operating all 8 of their modified air-to-air refueling 707 tankers around this area here. Each of those tankers can refuel up to 10 F-16/F-15 fighters per aircraft per mission. So only the F-16s and the F-15s will be able to refuel. The F-35s, which will also be involved in this sortie, will have to go unrefueled, and therefore they'll be taking much lighter loads. I'm just putting this out here now because it's going to be harder to cover later on. Once refueling is finished, we're going to move towards the Persian Gulf, and then the main strike will start, hitting these various targets along the west of Iran and up to Tehran here. Before we move on from this very rough map, there's just one more thing I have to stipulate at this point now, viewers. As I said, Iran is a very big country, and we do not have all of Iran modelled in our simulator. The closest we have for the actual area of attack is shown in this green box here. So we only have this area modelled. So what I've had to do in our simulation was take all of these targets that were hit and squash them proportionally into this area of Iran here. So today, geographically, it's not going to be correct in terms of north to south, but it will be in terms of east to west. Which takes us to our first tactical map. This is the area of Iran that we've just been looking at in that green box. The attack started in the very early hours of the 13th. We're going to push it back just a few hours so we get a bit of daylight, because it's going to be much easier to make a video with a bit of daylight. So we're going to take off just as the sun is coming up. We're going to transit 600 miles east. We're going to air-to-air refuel apart from the F-35s, which will go ahead and operate before us. Then we'll come in behind them in our F-16s and F-15s. Now, I'm not going to lie, viewers, setting this up was a real challenge. It was a really difficult thing to do. What you've got here is all of the targets that were hit, or should I say the main targets that were hit, nuclear and military, in the proportional positions as I described. Just to give you a reference, the top of the Persian Gulf here is the Strait of Hormuz, this is Iran, here is Tehran pushed down 300 miles. So Tehran, you can see the main nuclear corridor that was hit, Natanz down there, Fordow down there, and all the others. I'm not going to go through them all because there's just too much information here, but they are there, and they will all, as per real life, be hit today. So I had to split, from what I've read in real life, the attack up into stages, and I've chosen 7 stages. So stage 1, the Iranian HIMARS has to be disabled. That is the long-range SAMs. This is going to be done with pre-planted Mossad agents as per real life. Now, if you look at every HIMARS site we have, we've got an SA-20 Gargoyle here, an AD-200 indigenous site there, another 200, another 200, above our 373, another 373, a Gargoyle here, we've got an AD-200 there, Barvar there, and a Gargoyle there. I think that's 10 HIMARS sites. Each of those has associated with them a blue unit here. That blue unit is a cell of Mossad agents, which of course infiltrated several weeks or months ago. No one really knows, obviously. They are going to target those HIMARS SAMs. They're going to target them with FPV drones and NLOS, so that's non-line of sight missiles. Their job is not to fully destroy those sites because it would be very difficult to do, but they are going to put out of action temporarily those HIMARS sites. So that leads to stage 2. 40, almost all of Israel's F-35Is are going to come in and they are going to re-attack those HIMARS systems, which may be partially operational, with many anti-radiation missiles that will fully put out Iran's HIMARS system. Now, they will have various interior lower range SAMs and whatnot, but we'll deal with that as we get there. Stage 3. There will be 8 F-16Is, which will destroy EWRs. At that point, we're going to be poking out the eyes of Iran. You can see them here. You can see one here. You can see one there. You can see one there. You can spot them all over the place. There's another one there. At that point, they won't be able to see us coming. And even if they did, most of their HIMARS of this area, obviously, will be gone. Stage 4. 20 F-16Is will destroy local targets with INS GPS guided JDAM bombs. I should say at this point, the weapons used, obviously no one really knows, but the weapons that were seen on aircraft leaving the various air bases were a mixture of some JDAMs, some were seen with Popeye standoff guided weapons, some were seen with small diameter gliding bombs, lots had the Elta 8222 jamming pod. Sorry, I interrupted myself. So 20 F-16Is will be hitting local targets with JDAMs. When I say local targets, it's targets within 100 miles of the border. So aircraft at this point will not be confident of going all the way towards Tehran. So those F-16s, which are still essentially vulnerable, will be hitting targets like this guy here, possibly Tabriz here, this guy here, this naval base here, and I think there's one more, this guy down here. Next, stage 5. 51, almost all of the F-15Is will destroy non-local targets with air-launched ballistic missiles. Now, I say non-local targets beyond 100 miles from the border, that it's going to be very dangerous to get to them. So those F-15s will be coming in and shooting over the top of those F-16s. Each will have 2 air-launched ballistic missiles, which will target pre-designated positions, basically all of these other targets. That will take the rest of those down. Finally, we're going to need some air-to-air escorts. Now, as far as I am aware, the Iranian Air Force was not scrambled within the first 24 hours, or not effectively anyway. We're going to change it a little bit and say some got airborne. They may have, they may not. You know, no one really knows. So, operating from at least one base, guys, will be some MiG-29s. Day 2, it was spotted on film that MiG-29s were scrambling from this base, so this is not completely inaccurate. Our job as humans is to be flying at least 6, probably more by the looks of it, F-16Is with air-to-air AMRAAMs, and we'll be taking on, obviously, any hostiles that scramble. In fact, our task, just to brief you now, guys, would be get to steer point 1 here, and we'll be loitering there while actions happen until we're called to do air-to-air. That's our only job, guys, so don't stray. Because there will be live SAMs as well. So get to that point and wait. And that's a total of 133 aircraft we'll be modelling today, viewers, and hence it was a real swine getting this working, and I really hope it works. In real life, there was a bit more, but there's only so much I can handle. And that, viewers, at short notice is the best I can do. We've got the real targets. We're going to hit them as best we know with the real missiles, and we're going to do the best we can, guys. Welcome in, viewers. It is 3:35 Zulu. We're actually 5 hours later than the real attack started, and as I said, that's because I want the sun, otherwise all you'll see is black and my HUD. So today we have Fire, Simba, Grump, Dark, me, Dirty Cannibal. Hello, boys.
Hello.
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 Boy.
We are starting from one of the 6 air bases used in Israel for the attack. Stationed here are, well, the wrong planes to be honest, but in this case, some F-15Is and some F-35Is and some F-15Is. We today, for simplicity, are all playing F-16Is. Right, up go F-35s. Now these will be the first guys in. If you skip the briefing, these will be the first guys in, apart from the Mossad agents.
Speaking of the F-35Is, speaking of the F-35Is, allegedly, 3 of them have been shot down so far.
Nope, they have not. That is all.
That's why I said allegedly.
You shouldn't have even mentioned it because there's no evidence to it other than a claim. But there's nope. That picture is AI generated.
That's what I said.
Roger, guys. I don't know, obviously. IDF specifically said that no aircraft were lost, so we don't know.
Okay.
No one really knows.
Claims in Tehran times. There it is.
Roger. It's always possible.
Oh, there you go.
It's always possible that some got lost, not necessarily shot down, but it's always possible that some were lost just due to, wartime causes losses, as you know. All sorts of failures can happen. Sorry, F-15Is are going by. Here's our rendition of the Golden Horizon air-launched ballistic missile. Israel uses several different types of air-launched ballistic missiles, and this is just the one we're chosen, or allowed, aren't they, guys? As soon as these guys go up, please take off directly after them, go up. Man, and in terms of talking points, I haven't had time to put down our talking points, but there is so much to talk about on this, guys. I'm sure you've been following the news footage, as have I. And the first talking point, I guess, is why didn't Iran defend itself? And I guess the answer is because of the actions taken in the very early stages of Rising Lion, right? Those Mossad agents were temporarily silencing those SAM sites, silencing the EWRs, and then, or probably like we did, F-35, take off at will, guys, take off at will, firing anti-radiation missiles to fully destroy that stuff. After that, they've kind of lost their eyes, right, and lost their function.
Either that or they didn't have the function to begin with.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know the answer to that, obviously, but maybe.
What are you talking about? They have the best fighter jets in the world, the F-14.
In terms of fighter jets, there were pictures of their MiG-29 scrambling, but it was the day after, obviously. Why didn't the Iranian Air Force scramble straight away to come and intercept these? Obviously, I don't know, but I do have a theory on that, guys. A modern, sensible theory about that. And that is that when you're defending, and this is for all countries, it's not just Iran. Any modern country that has IADs to defend their terrain, as well as an air force, can't operate both in the same area at once. So it was all in the same area. It was all, west of the border, west of the western border. They had to make a decision. Are they going to operate their SAMs, or are they going to operate their air force? Because they operate their air force inside the SAM nets, then they can very easily get shot down, and everyone does this. America still does this. A few weeks ago they did it. It happens, however good your air force is. And B, it's very hard to operate your SAMs with your own jets flying in the net. You massively reduce the efficiency. Client, please, above the clouds, thank you. Massively reduce the effectiveness of your IADs by having friendly jets in the system. So one theory I have is they said, okay, there may be an attack coming at the moment. Let's rely on HIMAD. Let's ground our fighter jets. Anyone got any thoughts on that?
First off, Cap, it was not the U.S. Air Force.
Navy.
I shall defend the Air Force's honor. That was the Navy.
It was the Navy, I'll give you that. Although...
And wasn't there a strike earlier this year or late last year where Israel did significant damage to their IAD system to begin with?
I can tell you right now, it was on the 22nd of the 10th of the 2024. How do I know that? Because we did it. I just had a quick look before we did this, because we've done so many of these attacks now with Israel. We duplicated that strike with F-35s and F-16s, which is what they did in real life. So yes, they did. How much damage they actually did, obviously we don't know, but that could have played into Rising Lion, couldn't it, guys? We've got a long way to go, viewers. Fuel is obviously maximum at the moment. I'm not going to waste your time. We'll probably skip ahead. Welcome back, viewers. We're kind of giving up flying in tight formation because we've been doing this for a long time now. The time is, in fact, 4:25 Zulu. Again, we're plus 5 hours as per the real mission. We're down at 8,000 pounds. We're about 50% fuel. We're most of the way across, I was about to say Israel. Where are we? Saudi Arabia, Iraq border. Now it's important to say that we're catching up with other jets, by the way, at this point. It's important to say that most of these fighters can't do this mission. They don't have enough fuel, especially when you're lugging lots of stores around. F-35 can just about do it, as long as it doesn't have big, ugly stores on its wings, and it will not today. In fact, one thing I haven't actually talked about is the munitions today. I will talk about that as we go, as we get closer. So the F-35 has gone ahead, and they're loitering in battle positions 100 miles west of the Iranian border, and they cannot be seen, obviously, and they're obviously MCOM. The rest of us are a good couple of 100 miles away from the border, meeting up with our tankers. Our tankers are 8 times modified 707, sorry about the beeping. For fueling, each of them is going to take 10 fighters each. That's a total of 80 fighters they'll be taking today. Then they'll be depleted and they'll have to go back, and they'll come back 24 hours later for stage 2. And I need a sip of tea. We need to go and do our refueling. We have one of those 8 tankers for us humans today. Our 7 humans. That beeping is really annoying, what is it? Don't know. Anyway, in terms of planes, we are surrounded, and they're all modeled today by about 80 aircraft. I was hoping I'll be able to see a bit more, but you'll have to... Oh, wow, something's blown up on the ground as well. Better ignore that. If you look round, you'll just see 80 aircraft getting in position, ready to refuel, as well as 8 tankers. And no doubt we'll all be stepping on each other's toes.
Oh, it's going to be spicy.
It's going to be spicy. Look at those. Those are the just radars, because I can't... Well, I didn't tell them to turn the radars off. They would have their radar off in real life, obviously, but there's only so much realism we're going to do. There's various AI aircraft around us. Oh, look, you can see on our data links. That is some refueling operation. Imagine having to do this in real life. 80 aircraft being in the right place with the right tanker at the right altitude, at the right speed, at the right time. Big operation. That's why one of the reasons I called it an historic strike. Alright, how confident are you about finding the right tanker, Simba? Because we've got a time on target here.
I am very confident.
Yeah, that's some operation, guys. Alright, when you're in tow, Simba, feel free to make contact. Texaco 11, I believe we've got Texaco 11. Is that him right there? No, it's some guy.
Nope.
Texaco 11.
It is still 18 miles out.
General comments. Obviously, the reason that this was done is to A, deplete Iran's nuclear capability, because Israel were worried that they were going to build a nuclear bomb. Were they or were they not? I don't know. Obviously, I don't know if many people really know the answer to that. But they didn't want to risk it, so they completely destroyed the nuclear capability, hitting various sites, taking out scientists personally. As well as that, they're taking out Iran's ability to react militarily by taking out, as far as I can see, their entire leadership. I don't know why that
must their Air Force leadership too, yeah.
Air Force leadership. So what that does is the same as if it happened in any country, everything becomes more difficult to respond. More modernly, they've started taking out energy targets, oil targets and stuff like that, but again, that's not what we're focusing on. We're focusing on nuclear, we're focusing on their ability to respond and stop these strikes. That's the first 24 hours of strike. Is that him on the nose, guys?
Yep, he is turning into us.
Well found. Have you initiated communications?
Yes, I have.
Oh, look at that, viewers. Simba's got in the middle of that lot and found the tanker. Well, we don't know, it might be the wrong one. We'll be stealing someone else's juice, right? One thing I'm reading about at the moment, I'm reading about the RAF, where this is very pertinent, is about the availability of airframes. When you launch a big attack like this, there's a certain percentage, probably quite a high percentage, of jets that just don't work on the day. They do not have 100%, availability. So they must have to, as well as planning this incredibly complex battle plan, they must have reserves in place so that if machine X fails, then machine Y is ready to go. Simba will know more about this than me from what he does, but I just think how much planning has to go into an operation like this, and how long they've been planning it. Probably since the end of the last strike, right?
But they've had assets in place for years for this. They've been planning for a long time.
For Mossad, and didn't you find it funny, the relationship between what Mossad agents, special forces that are in there using first-person view drones from vans, how close that was to what Ukraine did just a few weeks ago, and they've been planning that for years as well, hadn't they? I have a theory about that, and I hope they won't get demonetized. I have a theory, because this is all based on intelligence, right? None of this can happen without extremely amazing intelligence. I say America is directly providing up-to-date, on-the-spot, Johnny-on-the-spot intelligence. The Russian and Iranian assets continuing all the time, because it's always going to move. Stuff always gets moved. Ukraine sending it to Israel, aiding them in their planning. Who would this be? CIA? I haven't got a clue. You guys have to tell me. Aiding them in their planning to get these guys months and months and months ahead into the country, ahead where the assets Oh, they need to attack. Any thoughts on that, guys?
I'd say that it's interesting. It's a good observation, but I mean, so far the U.S. has said that they've had zero involvement in this.
Well, they would say that, Grump. Just like Saudi Arabia had to condemn this. I mean, I'm sure they didn't actually condemn it in their heart, but they had to condemn it geopolitically. Anyway, I'm going to get to monetize if we go any further. Simba, hook up, please. The rest of you on the left. Pretty much what it would look like, viewers. It'd be a bit darker, a lot darker, but that there, just looking and seeing other Israeli jets getting ready for tanking.
Be advised, Dirty will be trailing. I got in trouble with my face tracker.
There, what was I saying? Availability of jets is not 100%. And Dirty's already broken his aeroplane, his helmet mounted display.
Kinda, yeah.
Right? Simba first time as usual. Friggin' nerd. Nerd. And mess it up a few more times like me. That, viewers, I'm going to try a flyby view in the middle of 80 aircraft refueling. First time for everything. And I should say as well, this is probably the biggest strike we've ever done on DCS as well, which is why it's such a menace to, for those guys refueling on our left, it's such a menace to set this up. Amazing, guys, amazing.
Okay, that's me done.
Alright, good job. Pop it off. Alright guys, we've taken on a pretty decent amount of gas. Everyone, roll with me. 090, we're going to head into our pre-position stations. Welcome back, viewers. We're coming to the eastern edge of Saudi Arabia. That is the eastern edge of Saudi Arabia, in fact, and that is the northern tip of the Persian Gulf. We are pretty good on fuel. Time is 400 hours local, whatever that was in real life. And that's it. I'm going to set myself up on autopilot, guys. I'll be following a loose trail because I've got to start explaining what's going on to the viewingtons. Okay, so we can already see the lightnings are in play. There's 40 of them. What's happened so far is that the Mossad agents have temporarily disabled the various types of HIMARS SAM. The F-35s are now charging towards those SAMs to fully put them out of action, because a lot of them are still radiating. In terms of my F-16s, our job is to get to steer point 1 in the top of the Persian Gulf, and we're just going to wait. We're just going to be protecting the rest of the flights. And that's it. Flight 1 of F-35 is increasing, so what they're going to want to do, viewers, is shoot from as far away as the site as they can. So they're going to cruise to their maximum speed, then fire off their weapons. Bloody perfect timing, because they're starting to chuck out missiles. Modern anti-radiation weapons fired. They're firing about 16 missiles per target. Is that realistic? No, but what that is simulating, viewers, is that I haven't modelled all of the SAMs that Iran has, as well as just the big HIMARS sites that you've got here. They will be scattered around them, lots of lower range sites and intermediate sites elsewhere in the country. So by firing 16 missiles at each big HIMARS site, I'm simulating, you know, lots more SAMs being targeted. There's only so much work I can do in setting it up, obviously, so this is my way of doing it.
I believe some of the HIMARS might have been pretty spread out as well.
Almost
could
certainly,
have been.
Yeah, again, I just want to keep it visual so I can see it all on the camera. Boom. Gotcha. Site 1 down, or severely damaged. It's not going to be operational. 52 missiles at a cost to Israel of 60... Oh God, that number's going up fast. $70 million of munitions fired so far. And yeah, it must have been an expensive strike, right?
Yeah, worth it though.
Wow. Jeez, it sounds like a rifle. Nice. So far, we've hit that guy there, we've hit that guy there. We're now, in fact, everyone's firing right now. 80 missiles fired, $100 million of munition, plus pilot wages, plus aviation fuel. A lot of aviation fuel.
They got paid back on the first. You don't have to pay their wages again until the first of next month, so I wouldn't even calculate that.
Roger. Also, what's more expensive, one of these or a AD200 sight? I'm going to say probably the 200 sight. 104 missiles. I can't even keep up with the camera now. Just to reiterate, viewers, what we're simulating here is taking out multiple sites around this main site. But just to make it doable. This is how we're going to do it. Another site being struck. Deleted.
I was able to lock an F-35 for all of 0.1
how about
second.
that? Super duper radar. I count 7 HIMAD down so far. Still got to do that one, and that one. These F-35s have gone 100 miles past the border. That's the border in purple there, by the way, with Saudi Arabia. These missiles have been fired at about 100 miles away. Got the max range of them, so hopefully they'll make it. We can see now that the F-35s have despawned just to save us some, processing power. They're on their way back to Israel, being simulated. The next guys in are these F-16s, 4 pairs. Each is equipped with AGM-154. I don't believe Israel uses AGM-154, but it's actually a very good analog for small diameter bomb and Popeye weapon. It has a similar performance, range and whatnot, so that's our use of them today. Last munitions going on this base here. Now we're right at the edge of the weapons range. You can see I'm all the way down to 700 knots, 600 knots, might not even reach it. And we do need to reach it because, at least claimed by Iran, some of these SAMs have very long ranges, 8,300, 300 kilometers, 150 miles. Their PMU-2s have a range of 150 miles, and that's confirmed. So this absolutely must be shot down. Shot down, sorry. Just gliding in, look, using their glide vanes. Take out the various radars. Almost done. Oh, that one absolutely. Oh, what happened there? Interestingly, 2 anti-radiation missiles just hit each other in the air. I've never seen that before in my 9 years.
Bullet hit a bullet.
Yeah, it's because I unrealistically made them fire at the same target, obviously. Just ignore it, viewers. Wouldn't happen in real life. Last site. All 10 HIMAD sites eliminated, guys. All fair and square. And even if, to be honest, even if the Mossad hadn't been doing their Mossad stuff, there's a good chance that the F-35s, which wouldn't got shot at themselves, they're carrying those missiles internal in their bay. AGM-154's out now, by the way. Would probably be able to get to that range without being shot at. The missiles themselves would be shot at, which are not stealthy, but you can easily overwhelm a SAM by firing 16. So even if Mossad hadn't done their stuff, you probably could have overwhelmed them. You just need to fire lots more munitions. This is a JSOW, representing small diameter bomb. Right, that gives us a little bit of chance just to get our S in order. So guys, I'm going to come back to you because those missiles are going to take a few minutes off. Right, where the hell are you guys? There you are. I see you. You
Right
Angels,
behind you.
low 30s, yeah? Yeah.
Yep, Angels 31-4.
I'm coming, you mothers! Total munitions used so far, 164 at a cost of just shy of $200 million. I mean, that's, for a small country, there's only 10 million people in Israel, that's quite a lot of dosh, right? Time, viewers, is 04:15. Can't even remember when we took off. Does anyone remember when we took off? 0200? Something like that. A couple of hours, I don't know, whatever time. We're about, I don't know, 80% fuel. I'm about 80% fuel, so plenty of loiter time. First batch of JSOWs about 10 miles out. So the SAMs have been nullified. Now the early warning is going to be taken out at 50 miles range or 70 miles range, whatever we launch this at. And that means the early warning has been, they don't know what's attacking them now, so they're blind. Anything could happen.
We've given them an early warning.
Yeah.
The early warning was a black eye.
The early warning is they have no early warning. Okay, we've got other units coming in now. Sorry, lots going on now. The local bombers are coming in. These are F-20 F-16s with GBU-31 2,000-pound bombs, guided bombs, which will be attacking the various targets that were hit in real life within 100 miles of the border. It's all going to start getting fast. Oh god, a million F-15s are just coming down.
Holy moly. I
right.
just saw the F-10 map.
Now the F-15s are in, viewers, carrying our air-launched ballistic missiles. A lot's going to happen very quickly now. I don't know. Oh, these are the munitions for the JSOWs that are going to attack that. And
I lost 4 FPS.
lucky you. EWR's out. Okay. 4th gen, fully free to engage. Missiles going out. Air-launched ballistic missiles are now going out. Whoosh, whoosh. I give you golden horizon.
Wasn't it
Say
golden
we're
line?
off the leash.
It was. I'm sure it's horizon. Stand by. Let me check. Oh my god. Yeah. MiG-29 scrambling. You guys, please vector. I might as well just be a GCI now. 09
112.
for 200 miles. So conserve fuel. All 4th gen jets are now at risk. That time when there's too much to talk about now at this point, viewers. They're at 196 munitions fired at a cost of $500 million. Golden Horizon, I think I've got that right. Golden Horizon, 140, 150, 160,000 feet. Mark 8. Other F-35, F-15s on their way to do their stuff. Total of 133 aircraft used so far in the simulation. 8 MiG-29 scrambled, which could have happened in real life, down there somewhere. We're at 210,000 feet, 220,000 feet, Mark 7 I'm guessing. And we are in space, viewers, for what we care about. Welcome to space. 230,000 feet, decreasing from Mark 7 downwards. Quick look at the boys. Okay, the J-South Iris, the EWR killers have been spawned out now to save memory. What we have now is the F-16s heading in to attack the targets with their JDAMs, as I said before. They're going to take quite a long time now, but EWR's out, the HIMAD's out, you know, they can do it relatively safely. Other F-15Is about to launch their Golden Horizons. Whoosh. 260 missiles fired, 270 missiles fired, at $1.2 billion worth of munitions. Okay, the first Golden Horizons are now 230,000 feet and descending, Mark 7, above the MiG-29s. If you can, they are down there somewhere. Look, if you can just see them, is the problem. They'll be conning, so we're literally so far away, I can't even see their cons.
Enemy MiGs on radar.
First contact, 093 for 160.
I'm going to watch these as best I can. Obviously, it's, you know, 260 hitting at the same time. There's only so much to watch. 264 were fired in the end at $1.24 billion. And these just make, I mean, these have been fired. I fired them 350, I say again, 350 to 400 miles away from their targets. If your metric, I don't know, 800 kilometers, 700 kilometers from their target, I just fired these. And they've got there in what? 4 minutes? It's starting to enter the atmosphere at 110,000 feet. Some point you're going to see Natan's nuclear silo, or they're just going to miss, and this is all a waste of time, because I haven't actually tested this far. F-15's despawned, over 100 ballistic missiles, time on target. Watch the entire of Iran about to go, and I quote, boom boom. That's kind of
boom,
cool, right?
boom, boom. Let me hear you say, well.
Everything's just been deleted. That whole batch are on their way to Tehran. That is going to make a nasty thing. Right, I should concentrate on the thing at hand now. We have air-to-air combat going on. Well, we've still got to protect those F-16s going in, because they still need to go in, so let's get that done. Autopilot off. What vector are you on, guys, just to save me a second?
093. Like the video? Check. Subscribe to the channel?
Oh, yes.
Check. Hit the notification bell so you can know when our next video comes out. Check. Hit show me more. Check out the links to our Discord channel, Cap's Patreon, and other various links.
Beautifully timed, Simba. Beautifully timed. MiGs are 86 miles. Presumably would have some sort of AWACS with us, some sort of early warning. All the missiles in the world about to hit Tehran. You can see the various targets that are about to get popped off the map. Yeah, have fun with that, Tehran.
They're requesting permission to punch it.
Do what you want, guys.
Stand by.
But remember, you've got to get back to Israel, or you've got to get back to the tankers at least.
Standing by.
Oh, they're even having time to do parade formation. That's my freaking boys. As good as it is, that's really bad tactically. Parade formation, break up. Some of you do a 360 to get 10 miles.
We will break up on command.
I'm already behind.
All right.
You still got time.
I thought you were being noobs.
On the command, give me a 5-mile spread wall. Climb up to 40,000 feet and start sorting targets. 3, 2, 1, punch it.
Woo! See you later, gold leader. And some such. Last missiles going in.
Target lock on closest target.
Look at the next targets that are back and to the right of the lead.
Box 3 on first target.
I've got target solution on the next one back.
Angels 37.
Cannonball have the leftmost of the lead group locked.
Dirty defensive.
Reds are fired.
Oh, he's turning defensive.
First MiG down. Good catch.
Splash 1.
We're up 35 miles, Fox 3.
Roger, I'm going to take the one that is in trail.
I have one at 33 locked up next to one at 40. Cannonball Fox 3.
Roger, fire. Alright, Angels 40.
Dirty,
Fox
re-engaging.
Okay, I've got one that pushed up to 42. Is that one that you have?
Affirm, just fired on him.
Copy. Do you have
Going
one to the
defensive.
40?
Negative, I do not have 40 that's behind him.
Copy. I'll begin shot on him.
I just need to pause for a second, hold fire. So I'm at a position now where this has gone very well, but I have to go to the doctors now. So what I will do, because I'm having some minor health problems, I will leave it running, the camera running. I'll be on F10 map so the viewers can see what happens from top view. Keep your communications going so the viewers knows what's going on. Just because this is the last you'll hear from me today, viewers. Really good. We took off. We translated with 80 plus planes. The F-35s went ahead. We refueled successfully. We got to our attack stations. The F-35 successfully took out all relevant HIMAD. EWRs were taken out. I say that, but one's left here. But, well, whatever. Let's imagine that they all got taken out. Then F-16s went in for local targets. About 150 ballistic missiles were fired at various targets, including Tehran, costing $1.2646 billion. And the boys are now getting in the last actions of today, which is going to be take these MiGs out. Guys, I'll unpause and stand by and have fun. And when you're finished, you can log off.
Yeah, I'm in trail.
Dirty, focusing northern targets.
Grump, did you fire on the nearest Bandit Angels 40 that's flanking right?
Negative, I can, though.
Yep, go ahead.
Fox 3 on northern target, Angels 24.
Engaging target 24 nautical miles, 086. Fox 3.
Splash MiG-29.
Has Angels 38 been
Fox
fired
3
on?
far target. Going defensive.
Do we have a shot on the 36?
No, he's fired on me. I fired on the far target.
Angels 36, Fox 3.
Cannonball Angels 22 Fox 3.
He's going defensive.
Okay, 36. Oh, yeah, okay, he's going defensive. Splash one.
All right, Angels 21 in close.
Defensive.
Splash MiG-29 that was far out.
I got one meg on my ass.
Is that the one near Angels 18?
16.
He's not near us. All right,
He's just been
our
hit.
sector is clear. Grump,
Copy
turn
that.
north.
Turning north. Okay, yeah, I see a track number 4 at Angels 20.
Dark 2
Turning in.
Bandits, 038 for 29.
Do we have a missile out on this one at Angels
Fire
21?
on 21. But you were close if you have a shot, take it.
Cannonball, I have a missile out on Angels 21 going defensive. He's in close.
Got a lock on enemy, Angel 16. Fox 3.
Hit. Splash MiG.
Got a lock on Dirty, Fox 3.
Dark. Splash Meg.
Roger. Rally point will be waypoint 1.
Copy.
It's going to be a slow process.
Ooh,
Nope, that didn't work
There
out.
we go.
slow, he said. Oh, wow. That's going on a reel somewhere.
Well,
Tip
I
him
was
downwards.
going to attempt to use my canopy to push up on his tank, but of course it let me go through his tank, and right now my pilot is taking a nap
Yeah, okay.
in a flat spin.
I guess.